From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang in review. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday bestowed the 16th Ani ng Dangal Awards to 26 Filipino talents who have earned various international awards in the categories of architecture and the allied arts, cinema, dance, dramatic arts, literary arts, music and visual arts in a ceremony at the Metropolitan Theater in the city of Manila. Spearheaded by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts or NCCA, the Ani ng Dangal is an annual event that highlights the conclusion of the National Arts Month by giving recognition to Filipino artists who have achieved significant international success and earned accolades in their respective fields in the past year. In his speech, President Marcos assured the Filipino artists of a nurturing environment where they can realize their full potential. The chief executive also lauded the Filipino artists for their luminous performances here and abroad, showcasing the best that our country can offer. The Philippine president urged them to continue to create, innovate, and excel as their essential works add to the country's gross national happiness. Let's listen to Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s speech at the 16th Ani ng Dangal Awards held at the Metropolitan Theater in the city of Manila.
It is wonderful to be in this building in all its glory. And it is an appropriate place and time for us to be here. I suppose that the lights are all lit up, and really, this hall is brightly lit for our function this afternoon. And I think the source of its glimmer is the star wattage of the talents who we have assembled here with us. For you represent the best of your craft. Your luminous performances here and abroad have showcased the best that our country can offer. Those who can act, dance, paint, sing, perform, sculpt, play, build, also serve the flag, because every time you step into the limelight, a powerful spotlight also shines upon our country. Every applause that you draw from the audience, wherever in the world, is also an adulation for the land of your birth, which is rich in artistry. You are ambassadors of our culture, have won the hearts of audiences here and abroad. It is time that you are honored by your own, in your homeland, to which you have given so much pride and joy. More than that, you are sources of inspirations to fellow artists who view them as an example in careers yet to be carved, or to their fellow men whose spirits, amidst the business of living, are roused by your performances. Art builds a strong nation and a compassionate society. Art does not only entertain, it enlightens, it educates, it elevates the quality of life. And these are what past and present Ani ng Dangal awardees have done for our country. It is my view that many times we see us honoring the artists that we have here in the Philippines, and we say, it is for the good work that you have done, it is for the beautiful works that you have brought to the world. But there is another important reason why we must honor our artists, who in the end define our culture. And the reason for that is the culture of a country, the culture of a people, that culture is a shared consciousness of that people. Thereby, your defining of our culture is the creation of the national consciousness, the shared consciousness of all Filipinos, which is the way that we define what it is to be a Filipino. And that is how important is the work that you do. The soaring songs that uplift the soul of our people, the words that move the nation, the brushstrokes that evoke our dreams and our aspirations, the edifices that are monuments to our skills. What they show in real mirrors the real for the better. What dance moves they dazzle us with exhibit the energy of our race. What roles you portray are what we want in life to be manifest. I am therefore delighted to join the National Commission for Culture and the Arts in conferring the prestigious Ani ng Dangal Award to Filipino artists who have made their world their stage. This awarding ceremony is indeed a fitting event that concludes the National Arts Month. I was told that there was no shortage of nominees. In fact, perhaps an oversupply of them. I was not surprised. In a country dense with talents, where there are more singers per square kilometer than anywhere else in the world, this should no longer come as a surprise. Where the arts and crafts and the traditional arts and crafts are beginning to once again be recognized, then we should not be surprised. I would like to thank the NCCA for the hard work that they have put in to put together this honor roll. Each awardee has an extensive portfolio which cannot be abridged in just a few sentences. In fact, many of your works are so beautiful that prose cannot capture their majesty. Like great art, to absorb such beauty, it can only be experienced. It cannot be described. So as we honor our honorees today, I extend a heartfelt invitation to every artist across our nation. Continue to create, to innovate, to excel. What you create are essential works that add to our gross national happiness. So please act on your dreams. Believe in your talent. Dare to break ground. Tear down the walls that cage your creativity. Hone your craft. Rest assured, your government, the Bagong Pilipinas, will create a nurturing environment that will see your talent fully and finally bloom. We know that art can only flourish under an atmosphere of freedom, and under Bagong Pilipinas, this is something that we will guarantee.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, on Tuesday presented to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. some proposed measures to ensure the effectiveness and sustainability of the government's anti-poverty programs. In a sectoral meeting, President Marcos Jr. directed the DSWD to look for ways to protect the value of government assistance so the poorest of the poor will be protected from future economic factors such as inflation. This is in keeping with the President's 8-point socio-economic agenda, particularly the medium fiscal framework to improve healthcare, social services, and education. One of the ideas being studied is the inclusion of the first 1,000 days of a child's life into the National Anti-Poverty Program. The first 1,000 days from conception to 2 years old are vital in addressing stunting and malnutrition. Additionally, pregnant and lactating mothers and infants need proper nutrition, breastfeeding, and necessary vaccines. In a press briefing, DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian said that in the bottom 30% of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4-piece list of beneficiaries, stunting is still prevalent. Because the health grant is fixed at 700 pesos, there are no incentives for the pregnant women to register at healthcare centers. Secretary Gatchalian said that one of their proposals is to introduce a first 1,000 days grant so that they will have an incentive to look for health-seeking behaviors, which means pregnant women will be forced to register. The DSWD proposed to provide an additional 400 pesos or 13 pesos per day as an incentive for pregnant women or children aged 0 to 2 years for 12 consecutive months, conditional upon access to prenatal services, delivery attended by a skilled worker, postpartum care or visits, postnatal visits for newborns, and checkups and vaccinations until 2 years old.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang has issued 15 proclamations declaring special non-working holidays in various parts of the Philippines, mostly to commemorate their founding and cityhood anniversaries. Proclamations numbers 465 to 479 were signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on behalf of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on February 16th. Proclamation 465 declared March 21st a special non-working day in the city of Calapan, Oriental Mindoro Province, to mark its 26th founding anniversary. A special non-working day was also issued through Proclamation No. 466 in the city of Tangub, Misamis Occidental Province, so that its people be given the full opportunity to participate in its 56th charter anniversary. Proclamations numbers 467, 468, and 469 declared special non-working days in Davao City on March 1st, La Union Province on March 2nd, and the municipality of Gutalac in Zamboanga del Norte Province on March 6th, to allow residents to celebrate the 87th Araw ng Davao, the 174th founding anniversary of La Union, and the 45th Araw ng Gutalac, respectively. March 7th was also declared a special non-working day in the cities of Samal and Tagum in Davao del Norte Province through Proclamations 470 and 472, as well as Basilan Province by virtue of Proclamation No. 471. Samal and Basilan will celebrate their 26th and 50th founding anniversaries, respectively. Tagum will commemorate its 26th Araw ng Tagum. Proclamations 473, 474, 475, and 476 declared March 10, March 14th, March 18th, and March 19th as special non-working holidays in Tanawan City, Batangas, Pasi, Iloilo, Masbate, and Bongabong Town in Oriental Mindoro, respectively. The city of Tanawan will mark its 23rd cityhood anniversary, while Pasi will commemorate its founding anniversary as a component city. Masbate Province will celebrate its 123rd founding anniversary. The declaration of a holiday in Bongabong will allow residents to celebrate the Sulyog Festival on March 19th. Meanwhile, Proclamation No. 477 declared March 27th as a special non-working day in Las Piñas City to celebrate its 27th cityhood anniversary. And finally, through Proclamations 478 and 479, special non-working days were issued to the municipalities of Tansa in Cavite Province and Bauco in the Mountain Province so that Tansa residents can celebrate its 110th Araw ng Tanza on February 28th, while Bauco residents can celebrate the Begnas di Bauco Festival on March 15th.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday congratulated Indonesian Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto on his apparent victory in the country's presidential election after early results showed the latter's landslide win. In a next post, President Marcos said that he looks forward to deepening the Philippines' bilateral ties with Indonesia, most especially as both nations celebrate 75 years of diplomatic relations this year. The 75-year-old Prabowo is poised to be Indonesia's next leader on his third try for the highest post. According to reports, Prabowo is taking the lead in Indonesia's presidential elections after securing 58% of votes based on quick counts. Official results of the presidential elections in Indonesia are due to be announced on March 20th. A former political nemesis of incumbent Indonesian President Joko Widodo, Prabowo lost twice to the former before becoming the defense chief in 2019. In January, President Marcos expressed optimism that the Philippines' strengthened ties with Indonesia would continue even after Widodo's term ends in October this year.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday said the amendments to the economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution are vital in attracting more foreign investments and upskilling the Filipino workforce. In a media interview on the sidelines of an event at the Metropolitan Theater in the city of Manila, the president said consultations on proposed charter reforms have already been done months ago, adding that the Senate is now taking the lead in introducing amendments to the Constitution.
What's happening now? What's happening now? First step, I always said the Senate will take the lead. The Senate is taking the lead. And between the two houses, they will come to an agreement, and that will be the way we'll do it. But I don't know why there is such. It's really a storm in a teacup because this has been decided very long ago from both the leaders of both houses. So maybe I don't proclaim, but sinasabi na kailangan kong pumasok, kailangan kong matagal na ako nakikipag-usap sa pagkabila. But you know, it's what for me is more important than to make these proclamations, what's that pronouncements. What's more important is to get it done. So that's what we're doing. We do it quietly. We do it, without any fuss. We just want to get those amendments incorporated into the Constitution to improve the chances of investment and upskilling of our people.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday said the Philippines will use all legal action against Chinese fishermen if there is enough evidence to prove that they are using cyanide to fish in Bajo de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal. The National Security Council, or NSC, is currently looking into the claim of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BIFAR, that Chinese fishermen used cyanide to intentionally destroy the fishing ground to prevent Filipino boats from entering the area. In a media interview, President Marcos said he knows of cases of cyanide fishing even here in the country, but this is more alarming as the use of the chemical is more widespread.
Well, the best that we know is that there really is, as far as we can tell. Sabi ng BIFAR, talagang merong ginagamit. Meron naman nagsasabi, matagal nang ginagawa yan. And I do know that there are cases of cyanide fishing before, even here in the Philippines. But I think the reason that it has become more alarming is that it has become more prevalent. Kaya yun ang inaalala
Are
natin.
we going to file a case? Kasi sabi po ni Secretary Malaya, parang they are intent to file a case against China.
If we feel that there is enough ground to do so, we will. Yeah.
BFAR spokesperson Nazario Briguera over the weekend said that cyanide fishing was not only done by Chinese fishermen but also from Vietnam. Briguera said the use of cyanide at Bajo de Masinloc will endanger all marine resources, including the ecosystem and the waters in general. The official also confirmed from the agency's ground personnel that coral reefs have been destroyed, which could reach to billions of pesos in damages. Cyanide fishing involves the spraying or releasing of toxic chemical on coral reefs, stunning fish for easier capture. Unfortunately, cyanide also damages and kills corals.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Tuesday met with officials of Grab Holdings Incorporated and the Department of Transportation or DOTR to discuss initiatives on additional opportunities in the country. President Marcos ordered the immediate review of the proposal to make motorcycle taxis legal, as these are already being used by commuters. Among discussed was the possible effects of the recommendation of Grab to loosen the regulations on Transport Network Vehicle Service, or TNVS. The chief executive said that more transport options will benefit commuters, drivers, and even micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. The government has long been studying the viability of motorcycle taxis, with the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, only granting limited slots to drivers. LTFRB Chief Chofilo Guadis III earlier said that once a law is enacted to include motorcycles as public utility vehicles, the Office of Transportation Cooperatives under the DOTR can allow riders to organize as transport cooperatives. 3 major ride-hailing platforms, Angkas, Joyride, and Move It, are currently allowed to operate on a provisional authority with a total cap of 45,000 participants in the study. The motorcycle taxi study was initiated by the DOTR in 2019 to evaluate the safety of motorcycles for hire in ride-hailing platforms. The study also aimed to give the government enough time to thresh out legal issues concerning the use of motorcycles as a mode of public transport, as the current Land Transportation and Traffic Code prohibits the use of private motorcycles for hire.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday asked the Bases Conversion and Development Authority, or BCDA, to ensure the completion of the remaining works of the airport to New Clark City Access Road, or ANAR, as he led the inspection in Mabalacat, Pampanga Province. In his speech, the president said that this project will not only give way to the advancement of tourism and investment in the province, but this will also reduce the travel time from the Clark International Airport to New Clark City to just 20 minutes. President Marcos said ANAR is part of the One Clark development approach by the BCDA that aims to promote economic and social transformation in the country by developing other areas outside Metro Manila. As of February 14, 2024, the project is already 95.21% completed. This includes a 6-lane runway, while the remaining part of the project is expected to be completed by June 24th. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
This Clark International Airport to New Clark City Access Road, or ANAR, is a key component in boosting the Clark metropolis as an investment and tourism destination. It is a part of a larger package of Build Better More activities. It aims to enlarge Clark's profile in the global investment map. Projects such as this all convey one message to prospective investors. It conveys the message that we are committed to building world-class infrastructure that can host a business in a high-growth area. The government is ready to provide adequate infrastructure and facilities to ensure the growth of their future investments. For example, the modernization of the Clark International Airport has now taken off. The construction of a rail link to Metro Manila is proceeding at full speed. At alam nyo rin lahat na hindi lang pang negosyo, hindi lang pang turismo, pang sports pa ang Clark, dahil we are also building a Clark's physical capital. We are upskilling the required human capital that will run businesses and will drive prosperity. Clark can now host a wide range of economic activities, including innovation labs, creative workshops, manufacturing concerns, leisure complexes, and a cyber corridor. If food happens to be the concern, then Clark is in the heartland of an agricultural powerhouse, not to mention the powerful draw and the seductive aroma of Kapampangan cuisine. In short, the Clark metropolis has what it takes to be a mecca for tourists, a magnet of investments, and a market of goods and services. We must leverage these attributes into higher visitor traffic, attracting more investments that generate better jobs and spur economic activity. This road is much more than just an access road. It is part of our plan to propel Clark as an alternate growth area. It is a red carpet rolled out to those who will partake in all the best things that Clark can offer. It shows the path forward of building better more, so we will never lose our competitive advantage, because unlocking the full potential of Clark is a continuing task. So I ask you and the BCDA to ensure the completion of the remaining works for this 20-kilometer highway. Once fully operational, I understand that you will open it tomorrow. Once operational, it will reduce travel time between the Clark International Airport and New Clark City from 1 hour to 20 minutes. It will also save commuters money, as ANAR is toll-free. Going by BCDA's track record, I trust in the quality of the workmanship of this road and in your commitment to observe the relevant procurement rules, laws, and regulations. I have also noticed that this bold vision radiates from the elegant architecture of the edifices that you have built here. For instance, Sacobia Bridge has been attracting its fair share of visitors as its own tourist destination. The world-class design of the new Clark International Airport Terminal has earned international recognition. It is hailed by the UNESCO Prix Versailles as one of the most beautiful airports in the world. So I thank the engineers, the architects, private partners, and the Basis Conversion and Development Authority, led by Chairman Delfin Lorenzana and Engineer Joshua Bingkang, the BCDA President and Chief Executive Officer, for your hard work. BCDA's performance is not merely narrated on ink and paper and in reports long archived. Your triumphs have become part of the country's landscape, utilized and visited by millions of people daily. These booming, breathtaking sites, from Bonifacio Global City to McKinley Hill to Newport City to New Clark City, attest to the transformative power of repurposing state assets. Military lands converted into economic centers are the concrete proof of the prosperity BCDA has unleashed. There is no better proof of this than Clark. And this is why the BCDA has earned a reputation as a reliable, credible, professional partner in public-private ventures, setting the template for mutual cooperation that benefits the public. All of these, while faithfully complying with one of its major mandates of remitting its earnings to fund the modernization of the armed forces of the Philippines. The BCDA has contributed 59.71 billion pesos for the equipment, weaponry, vehicles, vessels, and structures used by our armed forces. So indeed, the BCDA has a major role to play in the Bagong Pilipinas vision that all Filipinos are working hard to achieve. Your contribution to Bagong Pilipinas goes beyond your physical inventory of projects delivered, planned, and being built. The BCDA's contribution to the Bagong Pilipinas would also include a culture of excellence, of innovation, of foresight, and of industry. So congratulations to you all for this very, very fine day when we celebrate the continuing development of Clark. At mabuhay po kayong lahat, mabuhay ang Bagong Pilipinas.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday assured the administration's full support in what the Filipino Chamber of Commerce of Honolulu, or FCCH, and the Honolulu City Council Trade Mission is doing to find ways to deepen the economic ties between Hawaii and the Philippines. In a courtesy call, the president said he believes that there is still room for potential as Hawaii and a number of places in the country have the same needs. President Marcos said that there are still huge opportunities that needs to be opened between the island state and the Philippines, and the chief executive is thankful that the FCCH and Honolulu City Council Trade Mission, in its aim to explore and realize the potential trade and investment between Hawaii and the country. Let's listen to the speech of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Suppose we have to start with the traditional Hawaiian greeting, aloha. And welcome. For those who have come from Hawaii, originally from Hawaii, welcome to the Philippines. For our Filipino Hawaiian members here, welcome back to the Philippines, and welcome to you all to the palace. And I'm so happy to be able to welcome you here. As I can see that the work that you are doing is something that's very important for all of us. Of course, the connection between Hawaii and the Philippines, and especially the northern Philippines, where myself and the executive secretary come from, is quite a long-standing one, and that immediately brings us to my own experience. And despite the difficult circumstances that surrounded our stay in Hawaii, Hawaiians made it as pleasant and as best as we could make it. And for that, we will never forget, and we will be forever grateful. Now, onto the trade missions that you have been conducting, and the possibilities that you have been exploring in terms of strengthening the economic ties and trade ties between Hawaii specifically and the Philippines. And I think there is a great deal of potential there. There are so many similarities in terms of what are needed and what needs to be done in terms of the state of Hawaii and in the Philippines, and in specific areas of the Philippines. And it is it's very important that we this administration has really done all we can to encourage the strengthening of those exchanges, because we consider it very, very important. We have always we have come to a very clear principle that the only way forward in terms of the economy in the Philippines, and for that matter for the rest of the world, is trade. And although we had to be a little protectionist during the pandemic, and we had to protect our own people first before anything else. Well, the situation has changed. The circumstances have changed. And now I think we are presented with so many grand opportunities that it behooves us to do our best, to try and explore those, to make those potentialities into reality. And there are many, many areas that we can do that. For our part, in the Philippines, what we have been trying to do is to make the investments or the exchanges easier, so that it is more transparent, more accountable, and in terms of cost as well. I mean, all of these, the supply chain problems that we've been encountering around the world, those are the problems that we have tried to remedy and to alleviate. And I think that we have succeeded to an extent. We will continue to work in that direction because, again, trade is important to us. And specifically for Hawaii, trade is particularly important to the Philippines because, as you say, that connection between the Philippines and Hawaii, and especially northern Philippines and Hawaii, is really quite traditional already, we can say. And so again, I think I see many grand opportunities, and I thank you for coming and to explore those opportunities and try to make them into reality for the betterment of both Hawaii and your partners here in the Philippines. So again, as I said, since you say that you have a special place in your heart, in like fashion. I have a special place in my heart for Hawaii, especially the people of Hawaii, for the kindnesses that we were shown. I mean, it is on a more personal, intimate level, the kindnesses that we were shown. Again, in difficult circumstances are something that we will forever be grateful for and that we will never forget. And therefore, you have your number one supporter here in the Philippines. Maraming salamat po. Mahalo. Thank you.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday congratulated presumptive Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto and vowed to continue strengthening the alliance between the two countries. The two leaders made the commitment during a phone call in which the chief executive expressed his willingness to meet the Indonesian defense minister as soon as possible. The Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, said that during their conversation, Prabowo said he was looking forward to working with the Marcos administration as part of the Philippines' enhanced bilateral relations with Indonesia. President Marcos, for his part, underscored the long-standing relations between the Philippines and Indonesia, spanning over 70 years, noting that both countries have a lot in common. The Philippine president also expressed hope that Prabowo will maintain the robust ties established between his administration and the leadership of outgoing Indonesian President Joko Widodo. President Marcos particularly noted that the Philippines is willing to enhance cooperation with Indonesia on clean energy transition, green metals and energy production, adding that some Indonesian companies have already invested in the Philippines.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday convened with the Private Sector Advisory Council Healthcare Sector Group, or PSAC HSG, to discuss updates on its recommendations regarding the building capacity of the healthcare system, as well as improving drug accessibility and strengthening PhilHealth. Under the building capacity and capability are the following nursing initiatives done by the group: Clinical Care Associates, or CCA program, wherein the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, has allocated funding for board reviews of 1,000 CCAs. Enhanced Master's Nursing Program, whereby CHED has created a one-year program to develop nurses as faculty members. And bilateral labor agreements such as the signed Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, with Austria for the provisions on scholarships, adopt a school or hospital, faculty support, among others. The group also discussed 3 focus items in terms of drug accessibility: local drug manufacturing, wherein local drug manufacturers can produce anti-tuberculosis, or TB, and anti-human immunodeficiency syndrome medicines, and participate in national bids. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, initiatives such as the FDA's progress on digitalization, policy enhancements and accreditation, and local drug development and innovation by encouraging invention and development of locally produced drugs and vaccines. The PSAC HSG also outlined the issues concerning the strengthening of PhilHealth that focus on 3 main areas: digitalization, reorganization, and financial or actuarial. In digitalization, a joint task force between PhilHealth and the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, will be created. On reorganization, there will be an increase in manpower, while on the financial actuarial aspects, there will be a significant increase in reimbursement rates and the repayment of payables to hospitals. Lastly, the PSAC HSG addressed their subsequent actions following the evaluation of advancements. These involve implementing the CCA program, expanding the Nursing Board Review team with additional CCA members, fostering conversations with CHED and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, regarding the nurse workforce curriculum, supporting the FDA on priority matters, and maintaining collaboration with the Department of Health, or DOH, and PhilHealth.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page at Radyo Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang in Review. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.